What is up, you guys? Competent Gamer here, bringing you back another video. This is episode 10 to the LSPDFR installation tutorial series. Today we are finally getting into scripts and plugins. The first couple of videos that we covered in this tutorial series were kind of just the basics to LSPDFR. I showed you how to download just LSPDFR on its own. I showed you how to install graphical mods such as Natural Vision's Evolved, how to install ELS and how to install ELS compatible vehicles, how to mess with vehicle textures and meta files and card variations, how to install real life guns and gun sounds and sirens, how to install uniforms, how to replace PEDs, how to install different kinds of things, just a lot of different basic things so that, you know, to get your foot into the door of the different aspects of modding GTA 5 for LSPDFR. Now that we have everything installed and we have, you know, the baseline for what makes LSPDFR a great immersive and realistic experience, we can finally move on to getting into the scripts and plugins. And the next couple of videos that we're going to be doing in this tutorial series are going to be covering scripts and plugins, and ultimately we're going to be getting into call-out packs and stuff like that. But first, we're going to start with some quality of life plugins and scripts. So today we're mostly going to be focusing on UI. So as you can see here on our desktop, we're going to be installing the BodyCam mod, the Dashcam mod, and the player location display mod. So these are all some mods that alter the UI in some way that just make the game a little bit more realistic, a little bit more immersive. So as always, quick little disclaimer before we get into things: I had nothing to do with the creation of any of these mods. I'm just showing you how to install them into your game. Now, as you can see, I already got them here downloaded on my desktop, but as always, I will show you where to get them. So if we go on to lspdfr.com, the first mod that we're going to be downloading here is the BodyCam mod by Sebo and one other. This one here comes with just this one. It's just a little body cam notice here that pops up in first person. This can be while you're walking around or you're in a car. It's just a little thing that gets triggered here. You can press a little button to toggle that, and on occasion it also gives a little beep, so get the go to sleep beep. So that's an interesting aspect there that really, you know, can immerse you into the game. So we're just gonna go ahead and click on this download this button here. Click on agree and download, and you don't want to click the old version, you want to click the main file. So you're gonna be going for the 2.211. Go ahead and click on that blue download this file button and let it go to your downloads folder. The next mod that we're going to be installing is Dashcam V. Similar to BodyCam, Dashcam is another UI overhaul, or UI overhaul that only works when you're in kind of like quote-unquote first person in the vehicle. There's first person in the vehicle, and then there's dashcam view. So when you're in dashcam view for police cars, this will pop up. There's two versions of the dashcam, which are this is configurable in the INI file in the mod. This is the first version right here, where you have like the letters in white and you have the Los Santos Police, or the whatever division you're working for, the symbol here. And you also have the more kind of like boxy one. This is the one that I usually prefer. So there's two options. Both of them come with the mod. You can choose you can configure which one you want, but they both come with that, so you can make your decision there. Like the previous mod, we're just going to go ahead and click on this blue download this file button. Go ahead and agree and download. And once that's downloaded to our downloads page, or to our downloads folder, we can go ahead and move on to the last mod that we're going to be installing, and that's player location display. This mod, what it does here, it just adds this little thing down here that basically shows which cardinal direction you're heading in, what street you're on, what intersection, the region you're in, and like the part of the city that you're in. So that's a really nice thing, and it also gives you the time of day in game. So it's a nice little thing. You can also configure where on the screen it is, so you can always just move it if you don't like it down here. But that's where it's going to be set by default. But in order to download this file, we're just going to go ahead and click on this blue download this file button. There's only one version of this mod, the version 4. So once you go ahead and click on that download, it'll just start. Now you can go ahead and take all of those files and move them all over to your desktop, and we can start the installation tutorial. So starting off with BodyCam, let's go ahead and open this up here and get rid of this little notification. If we click on here, we have a EULA, which is just some end user license agreements. You can just go ahead and read through that if you want to. And then we have the readme.txt document. Now here, it just tells you that the only thing you need to do to install this is to copy the DLL and the INI files into this pathway here in our main directory folder. We don't have to use OpenIV for this one. So we go ahead and click on Grand Theft Auto 5 and to plugins, we have the DLL and the INI folder. This is where we can configure different settings for the body cam. So let's go ahead and take a look in here real quick. This is the button here that allows us to toggle on and off the body cam UI. That's normally set to numpad 0. I'm okay leaving it there. I don't mind it. And then here you can change how many times it is between beeps. 90 seconds is pretty good. You can also change that to a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and change that to about 60 seconds, you know, once every minute. I'm cool with that. You can change this number to whatever you want, really. It's just a serial number for your body cam. You can change it to whatever you want to. There's different kind of custom models here for body cams. I'm not really sure what these mean. Yeah, and then you can either set a custom date so that the date's always the same, or you can leave it for false and it'll just read what the actual date is. So in my case, it would be May 12, 2021. And that only pops up if you set this to false. Otherwise, if you set this to true, it would be whatever date you set right here in this section. And then this is just asking you whether or not you want the body cam overlay and the sound to have to work when you're in third person. By default, this is set to false because obviously body cams are first person perspectives. You don't want them in third person, but you can change that if you want to. Now, once you've made all your changes and you're comfortable with those changes, go ahead and click on File, Save. And when you exit out of here, you're going to have this little notification that says that the INI has been modified, and this will save it. This will update that change in the archive. So now, let's say you put this file into the folder here, but then your folder gets corrupted and you lose it. Those changes that you have made will always be here forever. So what we need to do is just go ahead and open up our main directory, go into our plugins folder, and the only thing we need to do is just go ahead and drag and drop these files. As you can see, I already got them right here. They're just hanging out right here. And that's pretty much it. Now for the Dashcam mod, this one's a little bit more involved. Let's go ahead and take a look at the installation here. It says here that the Dashcam DLL and INI are going to be going into the plugins folder, but then the logos.ytd is going to go into this pathway in OpenIV. So we do have to use OpenIV for this one. So we have options here. There's two different kinds of agencies that come with this game. One is with this mod. One is lore friendly, so Los Santos and Blaine County. Or you get the real life agencies like the Los Angeles Police Department or the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department. You can either choose to go with a real life agency or a lore friendly agency. I typically play a lore friendly game, although my cars are Los Angeles based, but that's beside the point. I typically play a lore friendly base. So I'm going to go ahead and click on lore friendly, and then again these two files here are going to be going into our plugins folder. So we're going to go ahead and open up our plugins folder. And then you see, just go ahead and drag them, drop them into this folder. They're just going to hang out right here. And before you actually drag them and drop them, we're also going to do the exact same thing here and configure our settings here in the zip file so that it gets saved in the archive. So let's take a look here. We have one setting here that allows us to enable the black and white dashcam filter. Basically, when you go into the dashcam, it's not in color, it's going to be in black and white. You can choose that to true or false. Remote view allows you to hit a particular key binding. I think it's Control E by default. It's also configurable down below. And what this does, it lets you go into dashcam view even if you're outside of the vehicle. Enable department display is this icon right here. So this display right here for the department that you're working for. This only works if you're using this particular Dashcam UI. If you're using the box one, this will not pop up and that change won't make a difference. So you can leave that to true or false, whatever you want. And then enable cam or enable dashcam on all views. This is normally set by false because obviously the dashcam, again like the body cam, only has a first person perspective. You don't want to use the dashcam on all of your views. It wouldn't make sense. This right here, you can just adjust your field of view. You can adjust that to whatever makes you feel the most comfortable. And then here we have the 0 and 1 to choose the dashcam layout. 0 is this normal layout here that comes by default, and 1 is this boxy layout here. So again, take a look at both of those photos, choose which one you want, and set it here. I personally am a fan of the box layout, so I'm going to set this to 1. You can choose here to set the speed measurement system to the metric system or the imperial system, so basically kilometers per hour or miles per hour. You can choose here the date format, basically in whichever way you want it, and then you can set your unit name. I go usually in LSPDFR I go by 2Victor7. And then you got some controls here. These are the ones set by default: left control E and left shoulder thumb to activate the remote view. I'm going to actually turn this off just because I don't want to toggle this in-game, or at least I don't want to toggle this with my controller. And then there's some other things down here, but typically I just leave this by default. I think it's fine the way it is, so I'm not going to bother with that. And then once we have all of those changes saved, we're going to go ahead and hit on save. And we're going to save this and update it in our archive. Go ahead and click yes. And now with those configurations set, we can go ahead and drag and drop both of these files into our plugins folder right here. The logos.ytd file is just a collection of the department logos, so like this LSPD logo in the back. That's just a collection of different logos for the different departments in game. So we're just going to go ahead and put that in the specified location. So that's this location right here. Let's go ahead and open up OpenIV for GTA 5 on the Windows. And once that loads up, we can go ahead and follow the pathway that was given to us in the mod file. We're going to go ahead and go into our mods folder. We click on update, update RPF, x64, textures, scripts underscore txds.rpf, and by default, if you do a search for logo, there is no logos, so this isn't here. All you have to do is go into this file here, click on edit mode, and then just drag and drop this file to replace that. Or actually, like, not replace it because this isn't here by default. But once you move this in here, it's just all the different logos, one for the colored and also the black and white if you choose to use the black and white dash cam. And all of these are just here for you. And with that, you have successfully installed both the BodyCam and the Dashcam. Now, the last thing that we need to install is the player location display mod, and this mod is the easiest one to install. You literally just put it in your main directory folder. You just put it right here in the main directory folder. Having said that, if we look here at this mod, by default, the location of this kind of like UI feature here is set to the very bottom of the screen. Now, I personally like to have it towards the middle of the mini map. It's just I like having it a little bit more here, just so I can fit more stuff. I like having it more, just more in my line of view. This to me is just a little too low for me. So if we go into the INI file for PLD, click here. By default, this is set to 1035. I found that setting this to about 900. Let me double check here. Yeah, setting this to about 950 was the best for me. I think that is a better location than the default setting. I'm just gonna go ahead and set this to 950 for both the regular and the large. And I'm gonna click on File, Save. Exit here, update that in the archive, and then those changes are already here. And then again, once you make those changes, you can go ahead and take these files and then just drag them and drop them into your main directory. You don't need to go into any of these folders. This goes right into the main directory, right in this location here. And with all of those mods installed, let's go ahead and load up Rage Plugin Hook, and let's see how it looks in game. Alright everybody, now that we're here in game with Franklin, if we look at the bottom left corner of the screen, you can see that the player location display is in fact working perfectly fine. We have it more closer to the middle of the minimap as opposed to the bottom of the minimap because we made that change in the INI file. If you prefer to have the player location display somewhere else than in the middle or in the bottom, you can always just tinker with the numbers for the UI value for player location display in the INI file and put it where it makes the most sense to you, but this is where I prefer to have it. Now if we go ahead and shift perspective and go into first person view, as you can see here, there's no body cam here, but if we click on the default button, which for me, or if we click on the button to turn on the body cam, which for me I left it as the default button, so it's the numpad 0. Go ahead and click on that. You get the little beep and the UI for the body cam will turn on. And this also works if you're in the vehicle, so you can totally have your body cam rolling while you're inside the car. And while we're in the vehicle, we can also toggle the perspective one more time. So go into Dashcam view, although for this car it's a little bit finicky. It's not properly set up, but you can see that we have the second UI for the Dashcam, the box one. At the top left, we have today's date, and we have my call sign 2Victor7. At the top right, it says that this is the San Andreas State Police vehicle. We got the current time, and at the very bottom right, we have the current speed. So we're going about 20 miles per hour. So you can just see just how much information these all of these mods combined can give you in your game, and just how realistic and kind of immersive it can get when you actually use them properly. So with all that being said, thank you all so much for watching. I truly hope that all of these mods were successfully installed into all of your games. If none of them worked, if you ran into any issues, again, just leave a comment down below. Let me know what's going on, and I will get to you as quickly as I can in order to help you. If you liked the video, go ahead, leave a like, and subscribe if you're new. And if you really want to hit the notification bell so you get notified when I upload new content. As I said, the next couple of videos we're gonna be slowly going deeper and deeper into scripts and plugins. So we'll see what other scripts I decide to cover over, but we're gonna be covering almost all of them, the ones, at least the most important ones that you'll need to have a successful LSPDFR experience. So with all that out of the way, again, if you liked the video, drop a like. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, go ahead and leave a comment down below, and I'll get to you as quickly as I can. Subscribe if you're new, and if you really want to hit the notification bell so you get notified when I upload new content. This has been Competent Gamer. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, and bye-bye.